So welcome to this webinar, Conquering Overwhelm in 3 Easy Steps. Got a lot of you on the call today. There's 22 people currently on the call. That's probably about a third. I had over 70 people registered, so that was a really good response. So, you know, it's obviously a topic that is quite current. You know, we're just going through a BAS period. So it's, you know, quite a good topic to discuss now while you are in the midst of feeling that overwhelm and stress. So a couple of the attendees are just putting down in the comments and the questions how they're feeling this BAS. So Melissa's got feeling okay, all BAS done. Had a bad month, lots of overwhelm with growing the business and changing of systems. Yeah, and that's what will happen, can happen when you are growing your business, that you do feel a lot of overwhelm because there's a lot of things that you're doing, and it's usually just you that is involved in doing it. Okay, so please put any questions up in the question box there. Let me know if you can't see it. You can put your hand up as well as being one of the attendees, and I can come to have a look at your hand if it's up. And I can unmute you as well. Great. Okay. All right. So let's get starting. So conquering overwhelm, 3 easy steps. So let's see what's involved. So firstly, a little bit about myself. There's a lot of new names on the call today that I'm not familiar with. A lot of them that I am familiar with. So my name's Katrina Arsman. I did own a successful bookkeeping business for over 15 years. And I grew it from a home-based couple of clients, you know, while the children were young, and then once they went into their teenage years, I wanted to build that business up to be a saleable asset, and one with staff and an office, and just have that business that I didn't need to be there all of the time. I could step away and have holidays and had staff. So I did build it up over those 15 years to having over 120 clients, up to 8 staff. It wasn't until 5 years before I did actually sell my business that I did engage a mentor. So I've been mentored or coached for, 8-9 years. So when I engaged the mentor, that sort of changed my mindset around my business, that I did change the way of thinking. I moved out of my home office, put on staff, changed the way that I actually did work, and moved away from being the technician. So I don't know if you've read E-Myth or E-Myth Revisited or the E-Myth, the bookkeeper version, that it talks about you being a technician in your business. So it was, that stage where I stopped becoming a technician, stopped doing the bookkeeping, stopped doing the work, and building on my systems and, my clients, and just perfecting, what I was doing so I could scale it. 5 years later, one of my goals was to have a business that was saleable, whether I sold it or not. At that time in 2015, I decided to sell my business. I had a very successful sale. It sold very quickly. Since then, I've gone into a new business called Bookkeepers HQ. So I did write a book that I wanted to explain the journey of my 15 years, if you like, of how I grew my business, because I was very proud of my story. So I published Grow Profit Exit in 2016, and it is being sold overseas, which is pretty exciting. So now I'm focusing my energies on assisting other bookkeeping businesses grow their successful business. Okay. Katya, if you can check your audio, other people are hearing me okay, so there might be something with your speakers. So if you wouldn't mind maybe going out of the webinar and coming back in might help. Just testing your different audios. Okay, so this webinar is going to discuss 3 different steps in how we can conquer our overwhelm. So firstly, it is to understand the difference between what is urgent and what is important. And I explain that with an Eisenhower matrix that explains the zones that we need to be in. So there is a difference between what is important for others might not be important for you and your business. So we discuss that in more detail. Keep it short and simple. So, let's not overcomplicate things. Let's just keep it quite concise. Don't get into that paralysis analysis type of situation. And thirdly, brain dump effectively. So we're going to look at some different ways of establishing good habits or good method of making to-do lists. We all know that we have to-do lists and, possibly have them all over the place. So let's talk some more about how we can do that a little bit more efficiently. All right, so firstly, the Eisenhower matrix. So this is where we can prioritize everything we do into a zone so that we get the most out of, what we're working with, our time management, our planning, everything is around how we're going to prioritize our time and try not to act reactively to everything that's going on. So if you do get distracted quite easily or have days where you just don't get anything done, please make a comment in the questions. Just let me know if this is the case for you. So comment yes if you do get distracted quite easily and just feel as if you just don't get anything done in a day. You're just like you've gone through your 7 or 8 hours being distracted by staff, by clients, by shiny new things. So comment yes if you can appreciate that. Great, Katia, you can hear it now. I'm hoping Larissa will jump back in. She's also having some problems. Yeah, Karen, Melissa, Callie, Helen, just in examples of some of the attendees that are definitely feeling that you just spend the whole day without getting stuff done, and how important it is to let's break it down so we can actually get some stuff done. So with the matrix, we're going to start organising our activities in a way that we can, work with. So the first activity is that it is urgent, so it's pressing, it needs to be done, and it is important, and so it's important to your business. So that's zone 1. Zone 2 is when it's not so urgent, but it's still important for your business. Zone 3 is when the tasks are urgent, but they're not important to your business. So we need to identify those. And then fourthly, the tasks that are not urgent and not important to your business. So what are we going to do with those, and which ones are the tasks that you're doing at the moment? Where are they classified, and how best can we deal with them? So let's delve into each one of these. Okay, so the first one is urgent and important. So this is probably where a lot of us stay most of our time. So it is the necessary tasks that we need to do. They're the last minute client deadlines. So they're urgent. They need to be done by a deadline. The last minute fixing of errors or tweaks. So, a client rings up, can you adjust this because I need to send it out? Or the accountant rings and says, can you adjust these figures, and I need these figures straight away because I need to, do their planning and their tax and blah, blah, whatever is important to them. The client's demanding your attention. Say, 25% of the time that the clients are actually on the phone or emailing, needing stuff done now, that is genuine. Like 25% of the time that the clients demand stuff from it is genuine. The rest of the time, it's not so urgent. So we need to identify when the clients demand stuff of us, what is needing to be done now in zone 1, or what can be put off till later in zone 2, where it's still important. We're still going to get it done, but just because the client's demanding it now, you have to assess whether it's important for you to do it right now and drop everything else. Also, your staff demanding your attention. Yes, they're going to be standing in front of you saying, I don't understand this. So 25% of their time, as an estimate, would be that you need to answer that call. You need to answer those questions right now for them to move on, to get those last minute deadlines finished. But the other percentage of time where they're standing in front of you, possibly can you ask them to go find the answer? Can you get another staff member to help? So I just want, as we work through these different zones, I just want you to be aware of what they're asking of you, which is urgent and important, but is it urgent and important to you and your business? So there are differences. So the idea is that we try and avoid working a lot of our time in this particular zone. We don't want to be working when things are urgent and we need to be, right on deadlines. We're reacting to clients' demands and staff demands. Like, why are we acting? Why are we needing to be so reactive? Is it because we haven't planned earlier? Is it because we haven't trained our clients to get the stuff in earlier? Is it because we have not delegated quick enough? So, these are solutions of avoiding to be working 90% of our day in an urgent and important mode. So let's just think about, that situation and how we can improve that. So, the way that we can get around this is creating systems around it. Having resources to preempt this, so not leaving everything to the last minute. Have a staff member or have resources, outsource, get a contractor to do some of the work, a month before we get to this point. So we need to plan what needs to be done and get it out of the way in advance. Zone 2 was around being not urgent, but it is important. So we need to decide to do this later. We don't need to do it right now because it's not urgent. It's not like a deadline that needs to be done today. So the type of things that are not urgent but still important are client work and meeting with clients, working on your business, on your systems, your marketing, your business planning. It's still important to your business, so it should not be avoided. It's not urgent, so it seems to be tasks that we will put down the list because it's not urgent. They're not screaming at us. If we don't have a better system, it's not going to improve our day-to-day because we just need to get our work done. But that's just today. Like, if you are wanting to have a scalable, profitable, efficient business, we do need to create those systems. So they are important to the business, even though that system is not screaming for you to work on it today. Professional development, staff training. It is really important for your business to be, learned and teach your staff, because they will be standing in front of you every BAS or every week saying, how do I do this again? Or how do I do the next step? Because you haven't planned on doing some of the training. The clients and staff demanding your attention based on their priority. So this is where the tasks that they are demanding, and they're wanting you to answer questions, but you need to identify, is it urgent to be done today? No, I can push that off to later in the week, or I could push that off to after BAS. So just think about tasks that you can push off to later. Networking, reading, writing blogs and Facebook posts, all of those type of things, your marketing is really important to your business, to grow your business. And you need to find time to work on this. Paying your staff, paying your bills, invoicing, all of that can be delegated. It doesn't necessarily need to be done by you, but if it is done by you because you don't have that delegation ability, or you don't have the resources, then it is important to your business, but it's not necessarily urgent to be done today until you get to the end of the month and you need your invoicing, and now it becomes urgent. So let's do some planning so all of this stuff that is not urgent gets done. Let's spend most of our time in this zone. So you can see, if we are set up correctly with systems, automations, resources like staffing, we can spend most of our time in this zone. The third one is on urgent and not important. So this is where people are standing in front of you wanting your attention. So it could be personal Facebook groups, or your personal Facebook profile, and other certain business groups. that are urgent, like they're popping up, just like my little Skype message. They're popping up wanting your attention, but they're not important to you or your business right now. So if you're in your business mode, don't get distracted by these things that are not important to you. They might appear urgent. Marketing emails, marketing phone calls, people ringing you and saying, listen, I've got a 50% offer. You need to deal with this today. They're urgent, but they're not important to you. They're urgent and important to the person making the call or doing the email, but you need to identify the difference. Personal distractions that can wait. So, maybe a child is texting you to see what's for dinner, or your husband's, saying he's going to be out late that night, or, do you want to go see a movie or something? Personal distractions, they can wait until you're after your business mode or you're in a lunch break or whatever. Don't get distracted by these things. Activities that others deem urgent and important, but they are not. So don't get caught up in others' urgencies. If they're not urgent to you and they're not important to you and your business, don't do them. Don't get involved. Just say no. It's okay to say no. Maybe activities that are not important for you to do personally. So maybe there are some activities that you could delegate to a staff member or outsource it to, a marketing person. There might be some activities there that you can delegate. You don't need to do everything. Only do things that are of high end, high income, high importance for you. Limited offers requiring your attention today, like I mentioned. Maybe there's some admin needs and maintenance on office and equipment. They might appear urgent, but if we'd put some planning in earlier and got that extra toner, or bought that equipment before your computer died, which I did last week. It was about to die, so I proactively got through with a computer, and now I've got one on standby. But think about it beforehand. Don't make it come into that urgency that you need to deal with it today. Like plan it. The fourth zone is when they're not urgent and not important. So these are usually things that we enjoy doing. So browsing social media, certain business Facebook groups that, we love to get, listening to others, maybe helping others out, which is awesome, but don't get distracted by them. Certain emails that are distracting, they look shiny and new, or, a golf would do a different, offer or software. They're not urgent and important to your business, so just don't do them. Just delete it. We need to start eliminating some of the busyness from our days. Certain phone calls, you don't need to take them. Say you'll call them back. Put them on a messenger. The same with your emails. Turn them off. Come back into them every 3 hours or something. Conversations you just don't need to have. When you go to a client and you pick up their books and then you start talking about the weekend or their holidays, or, you get in conversations about where the children are going to go to school or whatever, you don't need to have them. Obviously there's some socialties that you do need to, build relationships with people, but often we get into conversations we really don't need to have with those people, and we spend a half an hour talking and we've lost that. Friendly distractions, friends ring up to say, I'll call you back on the weekend, or I'll call you back tonight. Other personal activities. So just be mindful of what you are scheduling into your work day that is not important to your business. Now, I know this is pretty obvious. These things are pretty obvious, but we get caught up in what we think is important, or what we want to do. But then we also get caught up in at times where we're so overwhelmed that we just can't handle it, and that's when our health and our stress, our health decreases and our stress increases, and then we feel really bad, and then we wonder why we're doing it. But is it because you've put yourself in that situation because you've put in too many things in your day, in your week? You've, allowed other personal stuff to encroach in this, business time. So just be really mindful of what you are, what you're doing, what you're being mindful of. These type of activities often serve no purpose to you or your business, and they will drain your time and, as I say, eventually cause overwhelm. Now, I'm happy for you to put any comments up there. I've got one from Jane has said, yes, some days are so productive, others I wonder where the hours have gone. Yes, exactly. Joanne has asked, when you say urgent, is that urgent to you or to the client, e.g. BAS deadlines, client sends work late? Is it urgent for me when I have planned on working on my business? Yeah, so the urgency is around needing to be done now. Somebody's demanding of now. So a client could send work late, and it's only if you have decided to work really hard and put yourself under stress and overwhelm to get that work done by the deadline. Like if they have not given it to you, say 2 or 3 weeks out of BAS, then you do not need to feel obliged. If it's in your engagement letter and you've made the arrangement that you need it before then, you do not need to feel obliged to get it done on time. If it's going to overwhelm you and put all the rest of your work and staff and clients at risk or, stressed. So what we're trying to do is avoid the urgency. So obviously there's deadlines. We've got to make your deadlines. And we've got to do, certain tasks. The accountant will ring and say, I need this stuff now. And the bank will, the client will say, I'm going to the bank, I need this now. There will be times where we do need to provide that customer service, and that's what we live for. But there are other times where, as you say, clients are late. We don't need to put ourselves in a state of overwhelm because another client is late. So just be really mindful of what you choose to do and feel. Like if it's going to push you to too stressed, it just has to go in line. Working on your business is important, very important to your business. I highly recommend that you schedule up to 4 hours a week at least. Like as you're growing, get more staff, you need more than 4 hours a week. But to start off with, when you push for time, 4 hours a week working on your business, it is so critical. So it's not urgent, but it is important. So we want to avoid working in urgency. We want to put most of our time and importance in the important things for your business. So what's important for your business? All right, so the second area is around the KISS. So we all, know this as keep it simple, stupid. But I kind of liked this version, especially the speckless and sans. I don't know if any of you have done French. The sans means without. So it sort of resonated with me, having done French for 5 years, know very little of it though, that speckless and sans. So it's like your tasks that you're doing, your business that you're creating, decisions that you're making, thoughts that you're having, keep it speckless, keep it tidy, and without too much, fuss and keep it clean and just, without extra stuff. That's what it means to me, the speckless and sans. I'd be curious to know how you interpret the keep it simple, stupid, keep it short and simple. Happy for you to put any comments in if you like this, if there is a saying that you have that reminds you just to keep things stress-free, just to bring it back a bit. So, yeah, welcome to put any comments in there. Let me know if there's a saying out there that resonates with you. By nature, we do like to overthink things. We want to know all the answers and all the options, and often find it difficult to make a decision due to too many thoughts. So let's explore this KISS situation a little bit more. So the first thing that I'm going to discuss is around our mindset around this keep it simple. And we're going to talk about how to make decisions and, planning around those in the next few slides. But this one is around your mindset. So the key to productivity is your mindset. You have 23,000 thoughts a day. So imagine that, there's so many thoughts going through your head a day. So have you ever felt as though you just can't move forward because of overwhelming and negative thoughts? So please comment, I have, if you like. So have you felt that you just can't move forward because you're feeling overwhelmed and having negative thoughts? Let me know from the audience how many of you do actually feel that. So, comment I have. So the idea of this, yeah, Tracy, Melissa, yep, Karen, sometimes that's good. That's on the way to improvement. That's awesome. But it is a common thing for us to have negativity thoughts and just sit with the overwhelm. Really, just like it's almost like we like the overwhelm sometimes because we keep bringing it back to that. So you can't actually have a feeling without a thought. So your feeling of overwhelm is as a result of your thoughts. So we need to train ourselves to change our thought process. So if we're having 2,000 thoughts a day, why don't we change our thoughts from those that we're having around overwhelm? We have got too much work. We don't have enough time. The clients aren't, performing. They're not bringing their work in. I can't find staff. I can't get anything done. I don't trust the staff. I can't delegate. I need to, redo it all. Whatever our negative thoughts are, I don't get the right clients. Whatever it is, throw up some more comments about what thoughts you do have so we can, perhaps discuss them too. So we need to train ourselves. So what we do is we just pause. And I think Melissa's got it right there. I use a 10-minute short meditation brief to help stop the thoughts. Yeah. So that's exactly what it is, Melissa. It's just, okay, we're indulging all these thoughts. They're all hammering us. We wake up in the middle of the night. I don't have enough money to pay the staff. Whatever it is, negative, overwhelm. So let's just pause. Let's just slow our thoughts down, and just settle your thoughts. You might need to go off and do something else. Meditation is fantastic. Go for a walk, make a cup of tea. It only takes a few minutes to change your thoughts. You don't always have to be feeling of that overwhelm. So just stop that thought. That's the first thing. And go and change change what you're doing. Think about something else. And then when you're ready, come back to it and think logically. Think about, what action do you need to take? So it's, as an example, if you had a warning flashing light in your car, you wouldn't ignore it. You would stop and you'd take action to find out what the problem is and you'd fix it. So you wouldn't continue to drive the car with a warning light, unless you're Penny from Big Bang Theory, if anybody watches that. So stop being that warning signal. Stop having that flash, that, warning. And then, you go to bed and you wake up in the middle of the night, you got warning. You sleep some more and you wake up and it's still going warning. So just stop. Break that momentum of that thought and find out what you need to do to actually fix it. Like, you won't be able to move forward. You won't get things done if you are just feeling overwhelmed. You can't think productively. So you just need to stop that thought and think about, what can be done once you are a little bit clear-headed, because we all get those irrational thoughts. They go crazy with us. But once we can just break the momentum of those crazy thoughts and just sit back and think about, okay, I need a staff member. So what am I going to do about getting that staff member? Who is that person I need? What do I need? And it just becomes a lot clearer. So this is, part of mentoring, I guess, if you had a business coach and mindset. So this is part of that training. It's not You know, it's not just learning how to, you know, set up a workflow management software. It's more around your mindset. It's deeper, and it might take some, you know, reading of books, some listening to thought-provoking, you know, people that you follow. If you follow certain people, whether it's Gary V or Kieran Ray, Kerwin Ray, thought I had that wrong. Whatever coaching that is on your Facebook groups, you know, listen to them about, you know, intuition, and you know, you can learn from these people. Now Jane has put in a very large comment. Let me see if I can get back to it and read it. Sorry, I've lost it. I'm currently planning on sending an email to some of my clients for workflow deadline dates for future BAS, as I find the same clients are always last minute, even when I chase them weeks earlier. Do you have any suggestions on best way to approach them, as I want them to understand their responsibility? If they miss my deadlines, they may be at risk of missing lodgement dates as they mess up our planned workflow. Yeah, definitely. I would let them know that if it doesn't get in by this date, that they may not be completed by the deadline, which would incur a fee, and that I have notified you, and it should be in your engagement letter as well, to let them know that their responsibility is to get information to you when you need it in a complete format and correct, you know, that type of stuff. So that should be in your engagement letter firstly, and then, yes, send out an email. I would, because I had so many clients, I used to send out emails at different times. So the email would firstly go out with the ones that would bring their stuff in straight away. And then, you know, I'd stagger my emails so it all didn't come in straight away, but I knew the stragglers. So they would get a couple of emails saying, you know, we need the work by this date, otherwise it might miss out. I also lodge BAS with a lot of client to advise transactions in there. So if you can't answer my questions, Mr. Client, and I've sent you an email, here's my questions. I've sent you a reminder, here's my questions. Third email, if I don't have your questions answered by the end of, you know, the week, whatever, then I'm just going to push the BAS through and you won't be able to claim the GST this quarter. So that's how I used to get around late people. And then also you do want to identify whether they're your ideal client or not. So again, that's a whole other discussion around if these people are your ideal client, so we can measure them. Okay, so thanks for your question, Jane. Okay, so we're going to make a decision. We're overwhelmed, we can't make a decision for the life of us. We get into this paralysis analysis. So when we're in a sitting state that is not stressed, so we're just in a relatively calm sitting state, that takes up 20 to 25% of our energy. But once we're in a stressed state, it takes up 40 to 50% of our energy. So it's not ideal. So when you're making a decision, we don't want to overthink it. And we don't want to make a decision when you are stressed, which is often the case. We will be overwhelmed and stressed and need to make a decision and just jump on one without doing the research. We might follow the leader and, you know, jump into something that we haven't really thought about properly because we've reacted to this decision. Also, trust your gut. I used to trust my gut instinctively all of the time. When I was hiring staff, it would be a gut instinct. When you're making decisions, like sometimes when I decided to go into business and move out of the home office, it was like, do I or don't I, do I or don't I, do I or don't I? And I couldn't make a decision. So I thought, I've just got to move forward. So let's just do it. I'm just going to work on, you know, my business. I'm going to increase my business. I'm going to put a staff member on and I'm going to give it a go because that's what I really want to do. And if I can't make a decision, let's just go with jumping in, because I know I've got all the skills and everything. It's not going to be a bad decision. I've got a risk factor. I can jump back out. It's not, I'm not committing to 30 years or something. So trust your gut, because that will often tell you whether it's right or wrong. Then to make a decision, create a mind map or a brain dump of your thoughts. And then what's also important is to set a time frame for your decision to be made. So if I'm making a decision on, for example, a workflow management software, then I'm going to make a decision in 2 weeks. So I'm going to do these 3 things. So it might be just getting some research around the different options. So when I was looking for a workflow management software back in 2011, I looked at the different options. I wrote down what I needed from the solution. I trialed a few, and then I chose one. So give yourself a time frame. Maybe it's in a month. I'm going to make a decision on this, whatever the decision is, whatever your question is. So give yourself a time frame, research the options so that you've got an educated discussion. Then once the decision's been made, set some actions on how to achieve that goal. So if a decision is overwhelming you, find out what you need to do to make a decision, because your thoughts will continue to go around and around in your head and you won't take any action, so you won't move forward. So what is the first step you need to do to make the decision? What do I need to do? You ask yourself, what should I do? Around, making the decision. It's usually go get some research, find out what others are using, find out what the options are that are out there. Then what do you need to do after that? So after that, I've made a decision, I need to do these 3 things. And then after that, what do you need to do? So set some action steps around the decision that you're making. And then we just need to get over ourselves and just get it done. We just need to do it. I love this. I lived by this phrase, just do it. Don't get me wrong, I used to get into paralysis analysis all of the time, and I still do at times, and I have to work my way through it. Because I've been coached in how to solve it, I do have to do the coaching on myself. I obviously have a mentor now, but to work my own way through it. If I'm having a problem with a decision, I just can't get out of my own way, then, what do I need? I just slow down, write it all down. I'm learning the mind mapping at the moment, because my mentor is really big on mind maps. So I've got hold of Simple Mind, and I'm working on doing some mind maps around, different services that I'm creating. So the point is, get your thoughts down on paper. Find out what the simplest route is, because it's usually the quickest, and we don't need to overcomplicate it. We tend to want to overcomplicate things. Create the mind map, brain dump your thoughts, and just go one step after the other. If you can get it out of your head, that's the biggest step, is to get it out of the head. Then just follow a process. What is the task? What needs to be done? How will you know when it's completed? Who can assist you with it? List everything you may need to do, and then prioritise. Now, the third step that I'm going to walk us through is around how to brain dump effectively. Now, it's common for us to have so many lists. In fact, I used to have so many incomplete lists all over the place, on my desk, in my software apps, on my computers, and I couldn't find them. I didn't know where any of them were. It was like too my head in. So comment I do if this sounds like you. Do you have lists all over the place? Maybe you can mention how many lists you have if you game. I remember when I couldn't find my lists or where to start. I still tend to write in different notebooks, but I have got onto Asana for my to-do list, and I love Evernote at the moment. But back in the day, nothing was synchronized. I had lists all over the place. In my car, then I have to start the list again. And you know what we're like? We like to compartmentalize. So we like our little boxes. We sort of have that personality. I can see a lot of people are the same. Joanne said yes, lots of lists. Judith, yes, numerous lists everywhere, says Helen. The lists get so long sometimes they scare me, says Jane. Joanne, then I procrastinate about rewriting them neatly. Love it. Judy, haha, on post-it notes, scraps of paper. Melissa, yes, everywhere. Work, home, electronic, paper, carbon, Google calendars. Yeah, I get it. I know it. Yeah, I lived it. Margaret, yes, definitely. Yeah. So what we need to do is get everything down out of your head. That's the biggest thing, is to get everything out of your head. Then we need to work out what needs to be done now, like today type of thing. And then what can wait for the next week. So our planning around this is really important. So when you are planning your to-do list, think firstly, the first thing you do when you start writing your to-do lists, what can you delegate to others? And we have a list for delegation. So you might not have the staff or the resources right now, but if you don't need to work on that activity right now, what is something on your to-do list that you can delegate to somebody else, whether you outsource it, find a friend, find a fellow bookkeeper, whatever it is, what can you delegate? What do you not need to do? And also, what can you do without? So once you've got like 3 foolscap pages of lists of things to do, then go back through it and cross stuff out. We don't need to do everything. There might be wishful thinking, you know, maybe you've got a wish list of things that you want to learn and resources and things that you might do in the perfect world when all my ducks are in a row. Leave it off your list, put it in your delete list, put it over there. Don't worry about it. So what we want to do is get it all out of our head, break it down into lists that make sense. So with Asana, and Kelly has mentioned Asana is the best, yes. So in Asana, it has got a do today, so do now, and then we've got a do later. So we've got a choice of upcoming and later in Asana. So, but if not, if you're just doing it on an Excel, on paper, I'd highly recommend you get into a software. Asana is free. So we have a list that's do now, a list that's do later, and a delegate list and a delete list. So things that if you ever take it off the delete list to do, it was important, but maybe if we have a delete list of things that, you know, we probably really don't need to do, it's like clothing. Put it under the bed for a year, never missed it. You don't need to do it. You could also have a 2-minute list. If you've got a lot of things to do, make a list of all the things that's going to take you 2 minutes. Just get them done. So the do now list. So what I suggest you do is keep it to a 4 to 10 tasks. It depends. Like I like to keep it to 4 to 6 and then roll it over every day. But, you know, it depends if you're going to write down everything you need to do in a day. Like I didn't used to write down all the bookkeeping stuff I needed to do. I wrote down the stuff that some emails I needed to respond to, or things that I needed to follow up. But I didn't write down every bank rec I had to do or every BAS I had to do. I kept that in my workflow management software. So keep the list small to avoid overwhelm. Keep it simple and clear. So just, you know, really clear in what you need to be done. Review it regularly and prioritise it. So you've got a list of 10 things to do, prioritise what needs to be done first. Get your 2-minute things done out of the way. Once you've finished that list, and you might have finished it within 2 hours because now you're so productive, then you can go to your later list and bring a couple of those things forward. But definitely at the end of the day, review your list, work out cross out what you've done this today, bring some more up from your later list and prioritise them again. And we do it every day. It's important. It's imperative that you do it. Probably when you're about to leave work, do it then. So you've planned for the next day. Your later list. So stuff you don't need to do today, get it off your today list. Don't overwhelm yourself. Again, keep it simple and clear. Review it at the end of the day. So some of that stuff might now need to be done tomorrow. So take it off the later list and put it in the today list. And remember to consider delegating all the time. What can you delegate to others? With the delegation tasks, delegate them quickly. If you do have staff, don't hold on to work that you think, oh, I'll get around to doing it. My staff are too busy. It's best that I hold on to it and see what happens in a week or two. Don't do that. get it off the list and delegate it and get it on somebody else's list. Obviously, you're going to be reviewing, making sure they're getting it done, prioritizing the whole thing again. But if you can delegate it, give instructions, give expectations, make it really clear of what others need to do and your guidelines as to when they need to be done, and just keep it simple, but move it on as quickly as possible. If it stays on your list for a month, in your today or in your later, it'll never get done. It's better to delegate it and get it done quicker. The delete list. So ask yourself these questions. Is it important to my business? Will it improve my systems and processes? Will it bring in clients or additional cash? So we're always got to be mindful as business owners, as leaders of our business, we need to be mindful of invoicing, income, cash coming in. If you're not mindful of making money, your business will not succeed as well as it can. And there's nothing more stressful than not having enough cash to pay bills and pay wages or buy extra resources. Will it assist me grow or scale my business? So do we need to do it? If not, just delete it. Just be very mindful of its outcome and what its benefit to you is before you put it on a list. So in summary, spend most of your time doing what is important and less time doing what is urgent. And it needs a bit of practice. Like you could be doing this for weeks and months before you really get the hang of it. It's not something that you're going to go in next week and do really well. You might start doing really well and then fall back in your old habits. So it's a habit. You need to do it consistently, but just be mindful. So maybe put a sticker up on, above your desk, above your computer to say, be mindful of what I'm doing. Like, is this important? Is this task important? Is it more important to me or is it more important to somebody else? Recognize what you can delegate and delete. So again, is this important? Do we need to be doing this at all? Don't overanalyze everything that you're making a decision on. Just find out what you need to do to make a decision and make the decision and then create some action steps to do it. Replace your negative thoughts with positive thoughts. So just, as I said, just stand back, stop the momentum of those negative thoughts, break the momentum, pause, think about something else, go and do some other activity, because your thoughts are a lie. They're not the truth. They are things that are popping up in your head because of the feelings you're having. But they're not the truth. You don't need to listen to your thoughts. You can choose your thoughts. You can change your thoughts. Start good habits today. Good habits are always hard to start, to keep. We're all done, whether it's dieting, healthiness, exercise, whatever it is. But you do need to create a system. So whatever works for you, whether it's reminders, whether it's check in with yourself, but start them today and just keep going at them. And, maybe check in with this webinar in, a month's time again, that type of thing. Yes, you will get a recording of the webinar. So you'll have the slides in the webinar. Get everything out of your head. The best way to avoid overwhelm is get everything out of the head. So are there any questions, any comments there around, what you've learnt today? Please, pop them up. Love to hear any comments around whether you've heard some of this stuff before, whether it's resonating with you. It is something that often you need to hear over and over again to cement it in, the mindset stuff, because you don't actually, you say, oh, yeah, she says that. It's all wishy-washy, but you need to, be the business leader to get your business more successful. Joanne said, thank you for enabling me to make more lists, this time broken into correct areas. Yeah, good. Yes, that's the important thing, is to do it effectively. Like, rather than having 20 lists all over the place, one for family, one for this client, one for, whatever. And I'd highly recommend you getting into a software as well. I love the urgent, important matrix, Melissa. Yeah, that's great. So you can get involved in further learning. So, as you know, we don't go into business knowing how to run a business. So it's important to keep developing our business skills as well as learning, the stuff around compliance and laws and all the new softwares. But it's important to be proactive around your business development as well. So do you want to build a successful business that you can actually go away for a holiday longer than a week? So if you do, comment in there, I do. If you want to build a business that you can go away, so step away for a month, or, for a period of time where you don't need to be there all the time. Do you want to take control of your business, or take back control of your business? And probably your life too. So again, comment I do in there if that's what you're wanting to do. So yeah, there's a lot of people commenting. Margaret, Joanne, Margaret's going to listen to this again, which is awesome. Yeah, Joanne, I do desperately. Natasha, what a nice thought. A holiday. Helen, yes. Joanne, I do part of the vision. Melissa, I do absolutely. Judy, yeah, that's awesome. We all want to do this. So there is an opportunity for further learning. So if you're interested in learning more business skills, gain clarity in what you want out of your business. Become a leader. Become a leader that you want to be. Like, rather than this person that's more reactive and just, following along behind what the client is offering, you want to become a leader and be proactive. Attract the right clientele. Improve your mindset. Have someone to ask, is this okay? If you want that type of learning, if you want to, get involved in that, then I've got an offer for you. I launched the Bookkeeping Business Mastery course in May last year. So I've had dozens of people going through it at the moment. So they're still going through it, and some of them are on the call today. So it's a 10-module course online. And the modules that we go through are around your business model. What is your vision? Why you're in business? What your business looks like? What you want it to, be doing? What services? Where are you in your genius zone? Like, where do you have the best, the best knowledge and experience on what you can offer? So it just identifies those things. There's a module around planning and goal setting. So with each one of these modules, there's worksheets and homework for you to go about setting up your planning and your goal setting. There's a module around finance and pricing and packages. So we talk about the 3 different pricing modules, and we talk about how to create packages. There's a sales and marketing module. So we, look at the different with the Facebook marketing and emails and just things on how to market towards getting your ideal client and identifying who our ideal client is. And then around clients, how we're going to service those clients and how we're going to onboard them, and those type of things. Staffing, so we've got examples of how to advertise and where to advertise and who to advertise for, identifying who the staff member is that your business needs. There's a whole lot around systems and checklists and templates. There's a module around workflow. So we talk about the options of the different workflow softwares and what you need out of them. There's a leadership module where we do talk a lot about mindset to be a winner. So there's different PowerPoints in there and videos in there. The exit strategy, so how we're going to exit our business, how we're going to set it up for a success. So there's 10 modules in all that are complete. They're all there ready to go. So the Mastery course is an online training portal. It is self-paced. You have full access to the entire 10 modules if you purchase with 2 different payment plans. You also have access to fortnightly group mentoring for 12 months and have access to the full portal for 12 months as well. There are payment plan options, and I am currently offering it for the next 12 months. I will restrict the access at some point. You won't be getting 12 months of group mentoring, but at the moment I'm still offering 12 months of group mentoring. So it's a really good a deal, and it includes your homework tasks, and so you can keep moving forward and getting accountable so that you can get stuff done. So this is a few of the testimonials that I've had from some of the ladies that have, or some of the participants. They're not all ladies, obviously. There is a mixture. This course is amazing. The course content is extensive and thorough. The interaction with other bookkeepers via the Facebook groups and webinars adds great peer support, makes you realise you're not alone. Most importantly, Katrina is knowledgeable, approachable, and goes out of her way to support her students. Great investment in my business, and most definitely makes me more accountable to myself. So there's a lot of great responses that I've had, and I'm very thankful for these testimonials. They've been awesome, and giving me some feedback about how well the course is being taken to. So there's a few more testimonials there. So if we have a look at inside the portal. We're almost out of time, so I can show it to you live. If you'd like to have a look at it live, I'm happy to bring it up live, but there's a couple of screenshots that I've done. So this is when you get into the course. It's a 10-module online course, so this is what it looks like. There is a section here where it says implementation calls for the Mastery course. So every fortnightly call is uploaded there with an agenda of what we have discussed, and you have access to them for the past, since May, since we started. This is an example of one of the modules. So you can see here each one of the modules in here, as we've discussed. This one, for example, is the staffing module. So I firstly have a little introduction video about what you're going to learn today. And then we've got all the different lessons. And as we tick through them, as you complete your lessons, you tick through and mark them off as finished. So we've got lesson 1, for example, is around your organisational chart. So you'll learn how to create an organisational chart. Lesson 2 is around what staff do you need. Lesson 3 is around finding good staff, how to do it, like advertising and the questions to ask them in interviews. So I've got all of that information there for you. Then we've got some onboarding, new staff, so the contracts and all of that stuff. So all of that is in here for you to utilise. So it's all the templates and checklists and things that I've got in there. So again, clicking into one of these lessons, what staff do I need? We've got checklists in here, Excel spreadsheets that will help you work out what hours that we need. We talk about the level of bookkeepers so that we know what bookkeeper we're hiring, whether it's a level 1 or a level 4, what do we need from them. So we have worksheets around all of that stuff. A few more testimonials. So let's read one, for example. I'll read this one. Loving the BBM course so far. I've learnt new systems and skills and been forced to think about the business I want to build for me and my clients. Looking forward to working through the rest of the modules and the great support from Katrina and my fellow bookkeepers on the course. So as I said, excellent testimonials I've had from a lot of the attendees. I've been very blessed in getting those, so that's awesome. So the offer for today is the Bookkeeping Business Mastery course, 12 months access to the online portal with recordings, templates and checklists, 12 months access to myself via fortnightly group mentoring for an hour, and access to the private Facebook group. The investment is $1,297 upfront, which is equivalent to 1.5 billable hours per month. So it's normally $14.97. 4 instalments of $340 if you'd like to pay it by instalments and get full access to the course, or for an affordable way of getting it, having 1 month or one module drop in each month, is a monthly instalment of $135 for the 12 months. So that is an affordable way of, let me just go back one to here, and what I will do is I will put the link to the landing page, if you like, in the question box for you to take up that offer. Yes, we're still having our fortnightly webinars. So I will, they've only just started going out by email again. It's going through Zoom now. I'm using Zoom, so I swapped over. So you would have got an email advising you from going from Zoom, from GoToWebinar across to Zoom. So we're having it like a meeting, so that everybody can see each other in there and we can all chat to each other while we're in there as well. Now, I think, have I got a hand up? No? I've got a couple of hands up. So let me just see. Judy's got a hand up. And down, Karen's got a hand up. Did you want to say something, Karen? Yes, you can do it later on in the year. The discount is for this particular webinar. There might be, discounts during the year, but this opportunity at this price is a now. But yes, and it is 12 months access as well. Katia, did you? And Margaret has got her hand up as well. Looks great. Thanks, Karen. Can you see? Let me know if you can see the link to the offer. I have sent it to you all, supposedly. Yes, great. Good. This side of the technology I fall down on. But yes, you've all got the link. Now, if you would like to have a chat to me to see if you qualify for the course or to see if it suits you, if you're interested in doing it but want to learn a little bit more, just shoot me an email at info@bookkeepershq. I will put my email, copy that now. Why can't I click into? Here we go. All right, so I am just sending my email to everyone for a link. So yeah, if you just shoot me an email if you want to have a chat to me about what's in the course, if you're interested in learning some more, and obviously I do one-on-one mentoring as well. So if you're interested in talking some more about how I can help you grow your business, glad you enjoyed the webinar. I'm getting some great comments. It looks great. Yep, great webinar. I have to keep going. Thanks for your time. Not a problem. So, okay, so we're out of the end of the webinar, out of time. So thank you all for listening. Great to be able to present this topic. I think it's something that is needed at this time of the year when we do get a bit overwhelmed. So I hope that you did get a lot out of it. Let me know if I can help you in any other way. Thanks, Tracy. I'm glad you enjoyed the presentation. So the recording will come out to you tomorrow. So you'll have that by email tomorrow.